Hey everybody. All right, hopefully you guys can all hear me. First of all, thank you all so much for tuning in. Those of you that do not know me, my name is Ronaldo Wofferman, and I want to real quick preface this whole video by letting you know that this is not an official stream. Now, what I mean by that is that I don't work for Arkaos, but I do a lot of work with ADJ and Elation as far as helping them with, software and product specialists, but I'm not official, if that makes sense. Either way, I know that Arkaos has shared this on their page. Several people have shared this on their page because this is the first official, or the first live stream look into the software with an official release. Now, I've been playing with the software for quite some time. Media Master 5 is an absolute step over Media Master 4. I'm going to try to answer your questions too as they come along. I got to real quick let you know that if you ask me how much, I have no idea. I mean, I do, but I don't discuss all that. If you want to look at pricing, go talk to a dealer about that. They'll get you guys taken care of. Now, if you're not familiar with Media Master, I do have lots of great tutorials, and the tutorials that cover for version 4, a lot of this stuff in there, pretty much everything will still apply for 5. What 5 did is they took everything about 4 and improved it. Well, duh. But they didn't kill the workflow. Instead, they just added more features. They made it even more stable. And as you actually see when I do, some of the live demonstrations, you're going to see that the software can hold its own. Considering this Mac is right now doing the live streaming, it's recording, it's doing the audio processing, it's capturing Arkaos, capturing a second computer over here, capturing your comments. I mean, everything's coming out from a 2012 Mac Pro, or MacBook Pro, excuse me. So even with all that going on, the CPU right now is showing in full. The video that I'm playing is playing at 60 frames a second. It's an incredibly stable software. If you're using Grand VJ and you're wondering why go from Grand VJ to Media Master when Media Master costs not a little more, but a lot more, I did. And part of the reason why I switched over from Grand VJ to Media Master is I like the layout of Media Master better, and you're going to see those features in just a few. There are 2 versions of Media Master. There's Media Master Express and Media Master Pro. Now, the main differences, there's tons of them. But the main differences that you're going to see right off the bat is that Express has a lot less layers, whereas, before, it used to be where Express had 8 layers, now it has 12. Pro used to have 12 layers, now it's got 36 layers of video. What that means is you can run 36 video clips at one time, which you can do some incredible projector mapping, you can really do some great work with LED screens, and so far. Now, that being said, the other major part is that you can control Media Master with ArtNet. You also have ArtNet out as far as, if you want to do LED, if you want to do ClingNet, this allows you to drive low-resolution video over LED lights. For example, the Cling bars that ADJ has, or with the Easy Cling, a little converter box, you can drive your dots matrix or dots pars, or the Flash Cling 64 from ADJ. You can run all that with Arkaos. So now you can integrate your lighting and video together in one rig. It's absolutely beautiful what it does. The other big thing about it is that because you can do all that, it does let you make your show a little bit more concise, meaning that you're not using this software to control this software to control that. A lot of it can be done from Media Master. But for me, the big thing is how much cleaner that layout is. Instead of just having 8 layers or, 8 different videos, I can actually have all my videos ready to go, lined up. I can see my visual. I can preview my effects right then and there. It makes it easier. And you also have 2 different versions. So we're going to kind of cover all that. I'm going into this video assuming that you already know how Media Master works. If you do not know how Media Master works, you may be, I may get ahead of you on some of those features. And if I do, let me know and I'm happy to explain it. But I really want to cover what the differences are as well as what some of these new upgrades are as well. So let's go ahead and begin here. And let me log in here. All right, so this is Media Master 5. The very first thing that you are going to notice is how beautiful it looks in terms of the layout. Media Master 4 was the opposite. Not that it was ugly, but it was white on black. This is black on white. I don't know why this didn't happen sooner, but I really prefer this layout much better. And again, if you are not familiar with Media Master 5, take note, or Media Master, excuse me, take note of how everything is laid out, right? You've got your clip here, You can choose the clip that you want to grab. So let's say, for example, we've got this guy right here, or I can go over and grab this clip right here. And I can set the output if I have different, mapping on there. We have different mixing options. With Grand VJ, if you want to do a position, you have to save it each individual, or, reset it each time. Here, you can actually save it and recall the positions later on. I'm going to bring it up here. Now, there is a little bit of a lag. You can actually see right now I'm on the lower right. That is simply because, again, I'm doing a lot on my Mac at the same time. So it's not going to be super smooth, especially with the streaming. It's trying to optimize it so you guys can see this without as little buffer as possible. On the right-hand side here, we've got 3 individual custom knobs. You can actually map these knobs to be whatever you want. Again, I don't want to go too much into that because I've done videos on this already. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, please be sure to do so. Go look on playlist and you're going to see the Media Master playlist. And that shows you everything that I've gone over. So let's bring this back down for a second. All right, so that's the big option there, of course. On the right-hand side, again, still very similar to Media Master 4. You have your overall master controls, brightness, contrast. You can choose your mask. You can do your keystoning right away. So if somebody bumps into your projector, it seems to always happen. If somebody bumps into your projector, you can quickly correct it. Same thing with your width, your curve of the screen. And you do see now monitor or VU meters for audio in and audio out. This is really important if you're going to be doing stuff with timecode. Remember, the Media Master supports DMX, supports MIDI, ClingNet, your LED mapper, and video mapper. Let's go ahead and discuss the very first. Oh, it still says stream will start shortly, SLS. If you guys can tell me what it says, because I'm looking at it here and it says I can actually see my stream on my YouTube. You may want to click the live button or click play. Yeah, because I can see Media Master SLS. So, yeah, that would be you. Okay, let's continue on, shall we? Okay, so we're continuing on here. So, the very first thing I want to talk to you guys about is the LED mapper. Now, LED mapper is a little bit different than ClingNet. You see, ClingNet literally allows you. Let's go ahead and drive ClingNet for just a second. Let's go ahead and open this guy up here. Hold on one second. I'm going to have to jump over to a different Arkaos rig. Now, this might be a little bit slow because I'm using, or delay because I'm using my wife's laptop, and it's actually doing over AirPlay. So let's go ahead and open up our ClingNet mapper. And again, I've done videos on this, so please make sure you guys go look at that. Now, this is going to say that it's not registered. This is not, I haven't registered as copy yet. But here's a ClingNet mapper. And what happens is, unlike traditional DMX lights, there are no universes. There are no addresses. It literally works with IPs, just like a computer network. So as you drop in your lights, you would actually see them in connected devices. So we can literally go in here, and we drag and drop, and then you can lay out how your lights would look on your stage on this square here, and it automatically maps your lights out so they could make a whole video. So that means you could take a bunch of par cans, put them all like attached to Easy Cling if you don't have, if they're not ClingNet compatible. And you can literally run your videos over your par cans. It looks absolutely stunning. But if the light does not support ClingNet, but it supports ArtNet, right? And we have a lot of lights that will do that. Then let's go and open up the LED mapper. The LED mapper looks very similar as far as how it works. So, for example, we're going to open up our American DJ. We've got the, let's say, the Flash Panel 16 or the Flat Power Tri-7X. Now, you might say, hold on, Ronaldo, I have the Flat Power Tri-7X. It does not have an ArtNet port. And if you don't know what ArtNet is, I know I'm getting over your head, but ArtNet is basically DMX over a network Cat5, okay? And you can have multiple DMX universes. You can have quite a bit. But again, with that Easy Cling box or an ArtNet to DMX box, such as the Wi-Fi bridge, and make sure to subscribe to my channel because I'm going to tell you how you can use the Wi-Fi bridge with Media Master. It's going to be mind-blowing. But anyhow, let's continue on. So we have the Flat Power Tri-7X. We can drop them here. So there's the Flat Power there. Then here's your other Flat Power, and so forth, right? So we drop multiple ones. We have to set the DMX address. Unlike ClingNet, you got to set the DMX address on each one. So this is one of the big changes in the newest version of Arkaos Media Master 5. Let me go back over here for just a second. So in the traditional ArtNet or ClingNet, ArtNet only works in two different IPs. You have your 2.x, meaning 2.001 or 2. Or, whatever it is, and then you have 10x, meaning 10.0 or 10.1. It has to start either with 10 dot or 2 dot. Okay. Well, that can be a little bit tricky as far as really trying to perfect your network. That is because of the way the ArtNet was set. It was basically what we call broadcast versus unicast. The LED mapper, this is version 3, now supports unicasting. Basically, that means that the packets of data can be sent directly to each fixture and not through the network. So imagine if you have your light, and let me, give me a second here. Let's kind of switch over. Okay, so let's pretend that this is light 1 right here, and I know there's a lag. I'm sorry on the audio lag, and this is light 2. So if you're sending a set of instructions, here's a Cat5 cable, it's going to this light, just like DMX, then it's got to go to this light. Well, it kind of slows down the network. Again, when you're talking about a two-way network, because that's, how it's the beauty about networking over Cat5, is that it can, basically go across different ways. Anyways, that's a whole different discussion. But on here, now this has got to receive all the instructions, ignore everything else, but just instructions for this light. Then this light ignores all the other instructions except the instructions for that particular light. And that can get pretty tricky after a bit. But with unicasting, what it allows you to do is you literally sent the data or the packets of data directly to the address fixture versus the entire network. So basically, instead of getting up in a room full of people and saying, excuse me, will the real Slim Shady please stand up? You can move everybody aside and say, Marshall Mathers, I'm talking to you. Now everybody else is ignoring you. You're just having a conversation directly with Marshall Mathers. So that's, in a way, how it works out. For backward compatibility, the LED mapper will still use broadcasting if need be. So you don't have to worry about choosing between unicasting and broadcasting. Because of this, unicasting is more efficient. So you're going to see a little bit less resources being taken. It's going to be snappier altogether, as dumb as I can bring it down. Now, again, the fixtures can still be mapped in broadcast mode by default as long as the IP address stays on auto. And this is the beauty about unicasting, is that it has the node auto discovery. So LED mapper continuously scans the network and fills in the list of fixtures. So again, when you plug in your fixtures, bam, there it is right there. It sees it, it sees each individual node. It does not need to be on that 2 dot. You are able to use the 192.168. Definitely makes things a lot easier. Okay. So now, if you have a mixed setup with both unicast and broadcast, you can still put pressure on all your network equipment. For those of you that use both, unicasting works best when every fixture has been assigned an IP address. So do that wherever all possible. Because of this, of course, now you do have your network selector and network activity LEDs. Basically, it just gives you network activity, shows you how busy your network is, and you now have a network selector that allows you to select which network you are on. So you can drop down and choose, let's say, a 2.1 or 192.168. Again, lets you specify the network. This is very important because LED Master and Media Master can now run at the same time. We're going to go over that a little bit on. Before, Media Master, LED Mapper cannot run at the same time because both would output to ArtNet. This means that now, as you're laying out your fixtures, you can run videos on Media Master and just get a live preview. That's pretty damn exciting. So, let me go back over here real quick. And again, any questions or anything, please be sure to let me know, and I'm happy to answer them right away. So let's go over another not one to call hidden feature, but this is one that didn't get pushed out when they sent out the press release as much, and I thought this is pretty cool. If you guys are familiar with the, oh my goodness, what do they call? The SRT, the lyrics files that you may find, like, a lot of YouTube videos have put where you can download the lyrics files. So it's also known as a subtitle file, and it has timing information. You are able to now basically have lyric videos playing directly on Media Master. So the way that this works, so let me switch over here so we can see this. Hang on one second. Text management. Okay, so there is our text management. So one of the big differences between Media Master and Grand VJ is that you can have all your text set ahead of time. So you can see the last name of a wedding that I did. We can put, Media Master live stream. But over here where the little browse icon is, you can actually load text files or SRT your lyrics files with the timing information. So as you're playing a song, you can have the lyrics pop along. Could almost be ghetto karaoke for lack of better words, but again, if you're really doing something where, as the DJ, you want people to sing along with the song, this is a great way of integrating crowd interaction via singing with the lyrics and having visuals to go along with it. I guess you could use this for karaoke if you're willing to convert all your karaoke files into SRTs. I'm not sure about the legality of it, so we won't even get into that. But this really allows you to step up your game with video DJing or, visuals and just create something exciting. Again, being able to import those SRT files, your lyrics, and so forth. And again, you just click and you are good to go there. If you're in theater mode, and we're going to go theater versus fixture mode later on, but if you're in theater mode, when a text file or subtitle file is chosen, by the way, this is theater mode here, then you automatically get 3 buttons exposed on the right side. So what happens is, if we load a lyrics file, and I really should have prepared and actually had that, but I'm going to be doing a video on that, then these 3 dials turn into your lyrics. So you can go into your next, previous, or you can reset your lyrics. Let's see here. These actions, of course, can be controlled via DMX or MIDI option as well. So, as far as, sorry, I'm trying to look through all my notes here. Flash text will design for subtitles or in folder 250. I'm reading the release notes here and some of the stuff. Basically, yes, you still have your flash text. You can add your text options on here, just like how you saw that I did there. And new text effects will be coming out on the final release. We are still in beta. All right, so that's the big part over there as far as how that layout goes. Let's go ahead and go into Media Hub. Media Hub is pretty freaking cool. So let me get this part over here ready. And again, if you guys have any questions, please let me know ahead of time. I am trying to answer everything as they're coming in and so forth. Okay, so what the heck is Media Hub? Well, if you are doing, let's say you're doing a production, right? And there's 2 different ways to use Media Hub. But let's say you're doing a production and you have a media server back of house, your front of house, or vice versa, because I've really seen it both ways. And you need to access the media server that's way on the other side of the room to change a file. You have to run over there. Now, you could log in with VNC or TeamViewer, but you really don't want to transfer that file over. That's going to take forever. That can bog things down. The other thing to think about is that if you have multiple media servers, like my company, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 8 of them. Syncing them up is a pain in the butt. Basically, I have this hard drive here. Look at this ghetto mess. This is a USB 3.0 SSD, and you can see the tape here because it keeps coming apart. But basically, I use Folder Sync Pro on my Mac. I sync my visuals up, and I put it on my computer and my backup computer. And obviously, the visuals that we have multiple licenses for, we copy them. We copy them across multiple computers. That can be a big hassle, really fast. Media Hub is going to solve all that. So I'm going to see real quick if we can actually do both at the same time. So bear with me while we duplicate this. Let's see here. This is, again, my wife's Mac that we just had up. Let's see. There we go. I had completely forgotten to do this part here. All right, remote Arkaos 2. Meanwhile, if you guys have any questions, now is your chance to ask them or forever hold your peace. Window capture. Add existing Arkaos local. There we go. All right, I'm actually going to make this window a little bit smaller because I'm not too concerned if you can see all of it or not. All right, so now you're going to see both computers. First of all, a couple of things that I want to make very clear is that, one, we have two individual computers. They are wirelessly set up on the network. I don't know how fast this is going to be while I'm live streaming, because right now I have my QoS settings really prioritized for this. So I don't know how fast it's going to be. But what I do want to mention is that when I did this before streaming and everything else, it was instantaneous. It was insanely fast, even when one computer was on the opposite side of the house. So we're going to go ahead and launch our Media Hub. I'm going to go over here, and we're going to open Media Hub. Guys, this is revolutionary. Both computers need to be on the network at the same time. You open your Media Master on both computers first, then you open Media Hub. It does not matter how many media servers you have. We'll go over that in just a second. But for now, we need two of them. So we have our local one, and you can see here where it says Arkaos Media Master, Monica's MacBook Local, and Arkaos Media Master. That is the one right now on the bottom right. And the local one is the one that's right behind this particular window. I want to real quick walk you through Media Hub, and then we'll discuss what's in it. Okay, so this is Media Hub. What it basically allows me to do is lets me synchronize files. Now, you'll see all these X's. That's not a bad thing. It just means that there's different files. So, for example, if I go over here where it says 03 Quartz Composer, well, they're all synced because it's empty, right? If I go back one folder over here, so let's go back one, and we go into our HD text, or let me make one that's a little bit easier to tell. Here's my purple visuals. You'll see that they're X's because they're not matched up. It's telling you, hey, look, these are not synchronized files. Okay? So let's go and synchronize these up, shall we? So for that, since we're going to be using our purple, what I call the purple visual folder here, that is folder number 11. You can see right there, folder number 11. So we're just going to bring this visual up for just a second. We're going to go to our folder 11. All right, we're just going to open our empty slot. And I'm actually having this up here just so you can see that it is empty. Nothing is showing. Let's go ahead and go into our Media Hub. We're going to go ahead and grab this here, and I can just basically tell it to sync either from here to here or from here to here by clicking the appropriate arrow. So we're going to click that, and there it is. Bam, instantaneous. Did you see how fast that was? Oh, let's go ahead and do that again. Here we go. Ready? Here's the second one, and there it is. So now I'm just going to go move this down. We're going to bring this up. There it is right there. Just like that. I quickly copied the visual from one computer and synced it with the other. So this means that I can have, even if Media Master isn't registered on your other computer, that means I can I can organize all my visuals when I'm not near that particular server. This is really cool because now my photographer, I can just give him, copy Media Master that he can put in his computer, and he can take the photos, put them all in one folder, synchronize that folder with mine, and now I have the slideshow ready to go. He doesn't have to come to the back area or anything like that. He can stay towards, his workstation or whatever it is. So he doesn't have to go, the back of house, front of house. They don't have to go back and forth. This is great for that. And again, this goes, this goes both ways as far as I can send a visual back over here. So you can also load individual visuals. I'm going to go ahead and go into folder number 26, and now we are going to go here on number 2, and we're going to open folder 26. Okay. And again, sorry it's laggy, but and again, guys, if you have any questions, comments, please leave them below. I want to hear what you guys think so far. All right, so we have this here. Again, it's just showing you blue because it's empty, okay? But we're going to go ahead and add a visual. So we're just going to go here. This is actually my wife's computer, so I have no idea what's on here. So we're just going to go into the Arkaos folder and use one of the visuals to come with it. I don't want to add a flash file. Here, we'll do these LED videos right here. There it is right there. Where did it go? Again, guys, this is a beta, so I cannot tell you it's going to... Oh, looks like I'm having an issue because, yeah, I guess it's not exactly quite working because of where I'm at right now as far as my network is completely... Oh, there it is right there. Okay. It's a little bit behind again because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. But you can see that I actually uploaded a file directly into Media Master on the computer that's not near me. And look, it's already popping up. Now, on the visual, if you look on your bottom right... Sorry, let me bring this up here so you can see it. My bad. I'll do that again. Okay, so there you go. So you can actually see, even though it says empty, it automatically showed up. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to redo this so you can see it on both. So we're going to open up visual number 3. There it is right there. And again, it's a little bit slow simply because we are on a live network. It's not exactly been the best, the fastest thing today as far as my internet because of all this. So we've got it over here. All right. We're just going to load this visual. We're uploading it to slot 3. And again, it's a little bit slow on the refresh rate over here, but you can see that it automatically moved it to that server. Guys, if you don't understand how amazing that is, you just play with it. Like, the more I play with it, honestly, the more excited I get about it. This is where it becomes crazy. You do not have to have Media Hub on a computer that's running Media Master. What that means is you can take Media Hub, just take that exe or that app file and put it in a different computer. So you can have computer 1 with one media server, computer 2 with a second media server, and computer 3 with Media Hub, and the Media Hub would see those individual computers by themselves. So one of the important things to know about that is that, A, you can have multiple computers. You don't have to have just the 2 media servers. If you got 4 or 5 media servers, you can completely synchronize them. If you're running a time-coded show, this is huge. Because I have a show, for example, that I'm using 5 screens, and they're going to be full-res screens. My computer that I'm using for this, I know can handle 5, but I'd rather just run 4. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to be able to send the visuals to both computers at the same time, or, both computers at the same time? This is how. I can keep my show completely synced with timecode, and I can keep the visuals that I'm dropping in last minute synced using Media Hub. Let's go ahead, and I'm actually going to try some out here. Let's try just one computer. So we're going to close this. All right. Okay, so there is the media server right there. Okay, so if you wanted to, let's say you're doing a wedding, right? And your photographer wants to drop some photos and everything like that. Okay, fine, yeah, we can absolutely drop some photos. Then you tell the photographer, listen, you're gonna go to, let's say folder. What folder were we on? 26. Okay, so then your photographer can go in. They can load a photo or a video. So we're going to do that purple one right there. Let's pretend that's a photo of the bride and groom. All right. And now you can be over here. Photographer's like, hey, I've got the show ready to go for you. Okay, awesome. And now you play it. Bam, you're good to go. But again, I'm really talking more of almost like a DJ perspective type of thing. If you're doing live shows and you want to do, for example, I use Jamtext where people can submit photos and everything else. I can take the live, the photos, do a mass download of those photos that people submit, drop them into iMovie or something, make a quick file, and drop them on the media server computer. Now, some of you could say, well, I could just do that, have somebody back there. True. But do you really want the media server computer going online, rendering video, doing all that? No, you don't want to do that. I don't want to sit there and plug USB sticks back and forth. Because especially if you use Windows, that's the best way to make Windows crash. So I really rather never my media server computer mess with. No matter how powerful it is, I don't want that computer being messed around. So Media Hub basically prevents all that. So going back over here, this also allows you to delete those files. So I'm just going to go here and delete them. And it actually trashes them from my hard drive. And there it is. It is completely gone. I'm telling you, freaking sweet, I think is the best way to describe it. Again, any questions or anything like that, let me know. Because that to me is the best part of it. as far as what you're able to do. Again, that little transfer window that you saw, as far as the ongoing transfers for the Media Hub, it does give you tells you how far it is, what progress it's at. Mine is fast enough that I haven't had that issue, but I do have a really good router, and if it's something you're going to do, you definitely want to have a good router. You don't want to be on the same Wi-Fi everybody else is. Obviously, if you're doing a big show, you should already have that. But yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big part of it. And of course, if you have not upgraded to 4.24, you definitely want to, at least be on that until Media Master 5 comes out. Just going over what's on 4.24. The crash has been generated, or the crash issue has been fixed when generating your visual snapshots. If you're doing a visual where it's play backward the first time, sometimes like when you load a visual, it'll play backwards and it'll play normal. They fix that. Media Master does not crash when importing certain visuals anymore, or when changing your root folder. A lot of really interesting stuff as far as that goes. One of the big things that was important for me on 4.24 is that the blackout button now works in Video Mapper mode. It did not work in Video Mapper. It only worked in instant mode. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about as far as instant mode versus Video Mapper, please make sure to check out my tutorials that I kind of go over all that with. All right, give me 1 second here. I want to load up the next part that I wanted to tell you guys about. Some of the new other features on Media Master 5.0. Let me click back over here for just a second. And again, guys, please make sure to leave questions, comments, anything like that. I will try to answer them as we go along. All right, so again, some other great features on Media Master 5 with Media Hub. Again, you have 36 layers as Pro, okay? 36 layers to prepare. You basically can create your effect ahead of time of how you want it done. So I'll give you an example of that here. So we have this visual playing, this next visual. We're going to click this here. Oh, let me switch out. Hang on 1 second. Mac Arkaos. There it is right there. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare this visual ahead of time. So I've got, like the fisheye. And we're good to go there. I already know what it's going to look like. We bring this up. And there it is right there. There's my visual. Yay. You can select what kind of mixing, what kind of output. Again, all this I'm not going too much over because I've already done videos on this before. Because, again, with Media Hub, as already discussed, you can go back and forth between your servers, your computers. You can have multiple computers. Now with Media Hub, I'll be able to take my master computer and sync it to my other computers, most importantly, my backup computer. It allows you to remotely monitor the status of an additional machine as well. And I did forget to mention that. So let's say, again, if your media server is away from you, you're running it in fixture mode. Fixture mode basically means that this runs, if you're, for example, using a hog, on a hog, you can actually preview your video clips as thumbnails directly on the hog console itself. I know MA does that too. So a lot of people keep their computer, the media server, way on the other side. They keep it away from them. But you may want to monitor your overall, your frame rate. You may want to monitor your CPU. Well, on the hub, let's go ahead and open that there. You can actually see in real time on the bottom corner, I can monitor my GPU and CPU settings. There it is right there. GPU, 39 frames per second. CPU, 144. The higher the number, the better as far as your GPU and CPU. Actually, that was one of the questions I always had is like, why is my CPU so high? That's a good thing in Arkaos. It's a little backwards there. So let's go back over here. You can also you can synchronize your text. That's the other big option with the lyric player, especially designed, for singers. If you're doing churches, I cannot remember the name. I think it's Pro Presenter that churches use. This is a much, in my opinion, better software than Pro Presenter to really step it up a notch. Not just your visuals, not just your control. You can bring in your camera. You can if you have a Mac, you can also use Siphon Out. So you can siphon out into a broadcasting software that may support it. So now you can use Media Master to broadcast out to, your live stream using, an appropriate bridge software that supports Siphon. If you don't know what Siphon is, it basically grabs the output from Media Master and brings it into another software, or vice versa. You can go from Serato or Virtual DJ, and I believe Mix Emergency. You can siphon out directly into Media Master, and again, I've done tutorials on that as well. The LED mapper now supports larger networks thanks to Unicast, and Unicast, there's a lot more behind that. We're going to discuss more, including how to use this with the ADJ Wi-Fi bridge. James Keeley, if you are watching this, you may already know what I'm thinking of, but we'll just say ArtNet 3. You have, again, enhanced DMX patching over multiple universes and the auto patching feature. I'm going to be doing a video on this later on, but again, if you guys are not familiar, if you go into your show settings, you can actually go here where it says your DMX, you have your options. So we have, for example, 12 counts right here, right? So your trigger channels, it's saying that we're going to start at DMX channel 1, and it's going to go for 12. So if you actually look at each fader, there's DMX1, DMX fader 2, DMX fader 3. You can also control your MIDI, keyboard, but back on DMX, then here for your parameter options, we're starting at DMX channel 13, and it's going for 12 counts. So there's your parameter, your 3 wheels, 3, 3, and 3, and so forth. Now, Grand VJ does a much better job of MIDI mapping, especially when you go over MIDI stuff, because MIDI mapping, you have to go by MIDI notes. But it's not terribly difficult once you get a hang of it. But anyhow, back on DMX Control, it does have this auto patch feature, so you can just have a pre-designed or pre-made profile if you're using CompuShow, MyDMX, if you're using the, emulation software, James over ADJ Annihilation, can get you guys set up with that. Yay! But anyways, go back over here. You also have your keyboard options too. So I can go and hit the Q, and you'll see that it only stays on as long as I actually have this, or the key set up. If I hit the latch button or my space bar, then it's just press and depress each key to make the individual cue come up. So there's really an infinite amount of ways to control it, as far as, combining your DMX, your MIDI, and even just using your keystrokes as well. Now, you can't map your keyboard except for anything for latch. The rest of it is already pre-mapped. Where was I? Oh, yes. Again, you can also set up your mapping objects quickly. If you're doing Video Mapper, so we'll go into, let's go back into Media Master here, our preferences. This is actually something that's pretty important to know. We got to go into Video Mapper. And this is one of the newer features from the last couple versions that I was really excited about. Yes, we always want to upload. Remember, this is a beta. If you are using a beta, please make sure to upload any crashes. And remind me, we got some exciting news about that too. All right. And again, guys, please let me know how the quality is as far as video and audio. Your words are very important to me. All right, so we're going to run this Media Master Pro in theater mode. So we're going to try out the Video Mapper. Also, the logo is better looking, too. I like the blue. I'm a fan of blue. All right. Okay. So now we're going to go into our preferences. All right. We have our mode. We're running it in theater mode. There's the name of the server. So, for example, when you're doing Media Hub, if you remember this came up in there, you can name it back of house or front of house or James's house. Okay? On output, it's still on instant mode. For some reason, this will only go into Video Mapper mode, but that's all right. On Video Mapper, you can set, and please watch my Video Mapper tutorial, you can have individual groupings, right? So for example, let's say we're video mapping a house, and we're gonna map each window. We've got window 1, window 2, window 3. I can combine all 3 windows into one group called windows. Well, the thing is that if I take that Video Mapper and export it and bring it into another computer, those groups are lost. Not anymore. Now I'm understanding that when you export your Video Mapper, it exports your groups as well. Thank God. Because that was something that was driving me nuts, having to redo the groups each time. So that's something, a little small feature that is This is wonderful to have. Going back over here. Again, you can also precise your real-time video content over your planar or non-planar or curved screens. So if you have a curved screen, you're going to have your video skewed a bit. You can actually now go into your curvature here and change it. So again, if you have a curved screen, you can change how that looks to make sure that it looks really good. And again, this might not be something that a lot of you think about, but when you go to a movie theater, that screen is curved, and it's curved for a reason. James is actually dead on with this. Not only will trade shows be easier, but if let's say, for example, you're a wedding production company and you're doing cake mapping, you create all your groups and everything, then you put it on a different computer, now you got to redo your groups again. No, you don't. It's just export, import, you are good to go. Let's go back down here. Again, you can set up your mapping projects quickly with just a few clicks on your multiple outputs. Again, I've done videos on this, so make sure you take a look at that. Also, with the ArtNet and ClingNet, again, ClingNet right now, I haven't seen any major changes to ClingNet. I'll have to find out if there's any behind-the-scenes stuff, but ClingNet is just wonderful. Play around with it. Remember that your movie files that you load in here, you can load your audio and video, and some codecs will mess up, and then your audio gets ahead of your video or vice versa. You can now offset, you've always been able to do it, you can offset your audio so it matches your video. And of course, if you are good with Flash, you can create your own animations. Not only Flash, but if you're a Mac, if you're a Quartz composer, if you know how to do it, you can create your own animations that will react to video. Going back to the LED mapper, because somebody just sent me a text about that. Because of the LED mapper version 3, the Unicast supports, get this, 256 universes. You can now send, again, we can send from LED Mapper or Media Master, but it allows you to assign your IP addresses much, 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 much faster. So again, the Media Hub to me, that's the big one. A lot of potential that you can see on there. The Video Mapper extension is available only with Media Master Pro, not Media Master Express. If you don't know if you need it or not, go with Media Master Express. You can always upgrade it to Pro. And I do recommend that when you talk to your dealer, request, when you say, look, I want Media Master distributed by AVJ or Media, Relation, don't get the download, get the boxed version, because you get full HD visuals versus the SD visuals. And the HD visuals that come with it, you have some really, really nice visuals. If you have never used Media Master Pro, you use something like Resolume or some other software. I don't really know what else is out there, at least for our end of things. There's obviously Hippo and such, but Media Master Pro, you don't have to re-encode your media. I've put AVI files, QuickTime, Flash. I've even done the Resolume DXV files with a codec. I can easily play it on there. So you have pretty much total control. Very, very stable. Let me see if I missed anything else, guys. If you have any questions, please, please, please let me know. Now is your chance. Oh, how did I forget this? If you were using Media Master 4, let me, hold on a second. Let me switch my sources here. Webcam. Hi. Okay. If you were using Media Master 4, you may remember that, one of the most popular capture cards are the Blackmagic, design cards, or the Blackmagic Intensity. The problem is, they discontinued those and they released the Blackmagic Intensity 4K. Media Master 5 now supports the 4K Intensity. I saw that in a note somewhere, now I can't find it, but I was like, ooh, yes, because I bought a couple of those. I did not even realize that they had changed the firmware. I mean, obviously it's got different firmware, it's 4K, but I didn't realize that everything was going to be completely different as far as that. They now have it where, it updates that, it updates on other cards. So let me pull up the list here of what it does support. And I'll tell you right now, they've actually done where it has your recommended input devices. If you use the Magwell, the USB capture HDMI, with, actually, if you go to Arkaos Pro and you go to recommended input devices, it tells you. But the capture HDMI has been verified to work with most. Your data path, they all work for Windows. None of them seem to work for Mac. Your Blackmagic Shuttle doesn't work for anything at all. And it's not just Arkaos. It's just doesn't seem to play very well with anything. your Intensity Pro 4K, and your DeckLink 4K. This is more for the touring guys. The DeckLink 4K, that's the SDI. It does support the SDI in the Windows version. I don't know about Mac because I don't even think there's drivers for the Mac Pro or any of the MacBooks. The StarTech, the Skynet, Skynet, no, like the Monster X, those are still under testing as far as I can see. Avatech is it's a cheaper one, but it actually works nicely, and it does work on Windows. I have used it on Windows 7, and I believe Windows 8 and 10, and I've had no problems. Just want to give you the heads up on that. Now, I'm going to be doing a video on building a computer. I've already started a playlist on that, but we are going to do a live Q&A that's going to discuss about computers. We're going to invite our friend Dane Holman in, who's going to go over that and kind of say, okay, well, here's what you need as far as a computer. Here's things to think about. We should have done that tonight, but I didn't know how long this particular stream would take. So that's really it in a nutshell. Okay, so here's the exciting stuff. I want you to go right now to Arkaos, Arkaos, pro.com. Again, Arkaos, pro.com. And you're going to go to software, and you're going to check on Media Master Express or Pro. Now, if you go to download, you can download right now the public beta. Now, what the developers are going to beg of you to do is that if it crashes, and do everything you can to make it crash, run multiple things at the same time. I mean, this is rock solid software. I've used the beta at events already, no issues at all. But run it, try different configurations. Make sure it's online, because if it does crash, send that crash report. It's good for them, it's good for you, it's good for everybody. James, they will still need to bring you to InfoCom. I don't know what you're talking about. The last thing is, if you have Media Master 4, this is not a free upgrade to 5. It is a paid upgrade. Same thing if you got the dongle drive, the dongle, make sure you get that dongle upgraded. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, let me know now. Otherwise, I will be ending. So, those of you that tuned in, thank you all very much for tuning in. Yeah, appreciate it. Make sure you guys share this video with your friends. I'm going to edit it to kind of get rid of the weird buzzy part that happened in between. And thank you all for letting me know about that. Thank you, James, for texting me, because I didn't even see the chat coming in. It wasn't even refreshing fast enough. But again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I will be doing more videos on that as far as tutorials and everything else. So download the beta, play around with it, today. Do it now. And most importantly, go find Arkaos on Facebook. You're going to find 3 different things. First, you're going to find the official page. So go ahead and like the official page and post in there that you saw my video. Yeah, do that. Makes me look good. And then you'll see the Arkaos video manuals page. That's my page. If you're sending me support tickets, I can't really help you. I'll help you as best as I can, but I'm really swamped this time of the year. So if you have an official question, go to Arkaos' website and put a support ticket there. But you can also ask the user group, which is a third option. You'll see the Arkaos Grand VJ and Media Master user discussion group, and that's an unofficial group, but there's a lot of us users there, always helping each other out. Most importantly, James Keeley with ADJ Annihilation is there to answer as many of your questions as we can, or get you in touch with the right people. Remember that I'll plug ADJ Annihilation here. This isn't an official stream, but I'll plug them in. These are the guys that are working hard with the developers to bring the software to you and bring you the educational courses. Now, this was just me specifically doing this solo. Arkaos has obviously been helping me out, and I appreciate them for it. Marco, Cyril, all the guys up there, thank you guys very much for your help. So thank you all for tuning in. Any questions, comments, leave them down in the link below. You guys have a great evening, and God bless.